Hi, folks. We are live. I'm going to wait a few minutes and see if anybody hops on here real quick. I'm going to queue up my computer. That way I can look at any sort of that way I can look at the chat and follow along with you guys. I'll wait a few minutes, see who pops in. But for those that are going to be watching on a rebroadcast, basically today is I'm doing a Christmas special, and I thought I would hop on since I had Saturday off, and I would broadcast with you guys some fun stuff tonight. I know a lot of times we talk about air guns, we talk about archery, we talk about knives. Tonight, I'm going to show you some of my other hobbies and share with you a little bit of that and see if you guys are interested in that stuff. All right, we got John on here. We got Old Spice. Looks like we got 6 people. We'll wait a few more minutes, see who pops in. But I definitely want to take this opportunity to tell everybody Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It's been an awesome year for the channel. We've done a lot of really cool stuff here on the channel. And we got Black Dog Bushcraft. Yeah. All right. Merry Christmas to you too, brother. All right, we got 9. So basically, I'm on the home stretch to 50,000. I just looked a little while ago, and I have about 130 more subs to go before we crack 50K. And I mean, it's been a long, crazy road, but you know what? It's been worth it with you guys. So we're going to start it off. So first off, Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope you have a great holiday season, a safe holiday season with your family, with your friends, and just take a little time to reflect on a lot of the good stuff in our lives. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, so I thought I would share some good stuff with you guys tonight. Now, for a lot of folks that know me personally, you guys know that I am into a lot of hobbies, but you probably didn't realize years ago, I did woodworking with an old World War II vet. His name was Charlie Johnson. And Charlie Johnson was a Bataan Death March survivor. He was a prisoner of war during World War II. And when I had gotten laid off from aerospace and started working in the grocery business many, many, many years ago, I met Charlie Johnson, and him and I became really good friends. And he mentored me uh, doing some fine woodworking. And I thought I would show a little bit of it with you folks tonight. One of them, this is the very first box. Charlie used to make all these really cool boxes, and he used to make these containers, really nice display containers to put flags in for fallen servicemen and retired folks. And I would help him do that. But Charlie got me doing this. This is Coco Bolo. It is a really hard wood to work with. And he basically wanted me to learn how to do nice, good miter cuts. And what we did was a little bit of veneering. And gosh, it's been 31 years. I'm having a little bit of a time remembering what sort of veneer that was. But it's just beautiful. And I think I used a piece of rosewood and I turned the knob on that. But just an awesome little box that was Charlie and I's first project together after I moved up from sweeping the shop. 1980, lived in Lisbon Fall. Hey, that's a cool story, Mike. Thanks for sharing that. Next up, here's another project that Charlie and I did after I kind of progressed a little bit in my woodworking skills. And this box has been sitting out for a while. Here's one where we used a piece of spalted maple. And what I did on that, I don't know if you can tell real close, it's pretty much a mirror copy. I split that piece right down the center, joined it, I bookended him, glued it, and that's a solid piece all the way through on that. And I think I used a piece of Paduke on this, but just a nice little knick-knack box. And I used a piece of fiddleback veneer in there, and on the bottom as well. You can see it just pops really nice. Got my dog in here with me. Hopefully he's going to behave here for the show. Then we got into doing these bandsaw boxes. And you're probably asking yourself, John, what the hell is a bandsaw box? Well, what we did was we took a block of wood, and he basically had a 6-inch throat on his bandsaw. And we basically cut out the center, and then that I made my lid. So we made a bunch of these, and then we're using zebra wood, and then we used brass pins for the hinge. And we made a bunch of these and sold these at craft fairs over the years. And they were really fun projects to do. Here's another one that we did. This one was made out of coco bolo. And then he was trying to teach me how to do inlaying. And then I missed the mark a little bit on the hinge. But, you know, he taught me, you know, you're going to make mistakes. And then he taught me how to fill it in and like that. But just nice. Look, what I like about coco bolo, look at the grain on that. And it's a really hard, dense wood. But you got to be careful with that. The dust is very toxic. So coco bolo, fun wood, but just toxic. Then a lot of folks aren't aware that I do pyrography. Now, if you follow along on a lot of my other social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and such, every once in a while I'll post up a project that I'm doing. And I like going to Hobby Lobby and finding little boxes. This is one I did for my daughter. My daughter wanted something with some butterflies on it. So I did some butterflies on it, and then I did a little bit of watercolor, and then I stained it. I did roses on the top. She wanted roses. And just a fun little project, you know, cost next to nothing. One of these boxes I think are like $6-7 at Hobby Lobby, and a lot of times you get them 50% off too. They're really cool. And then this was a project that I did, and I gotta lacquer it up. It's been sitting out for a little bit. But another box that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and I put the compass on the top, and then I found a wallpaper pattern, and I said, man, that wallpaper pattern would just make a good edging to go all the way around. So we have a bear, we have a moose, and then some trees, and just stuff like that I do. Then I started making like these coat and hat racks. And this was a project that I did a while back. And I made the frame myself. It's got a little bit of dust on it. You can see right now it's been sitting for a little bit. I got to get the air compressor and blow it off. But drew in the bison and all that, and then did all the detail. Let me see if the camera can pick it up a little bit. Just something to put maybe in somebody's cabin. You know, if I ever get a property where I'm up in the woods, you know, and just something to hang our hats off of. Everybody needs something like that. And then, let's see, we got some comments. Good evening and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thanks for the live tonight. Yeah, G-Man. thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Here's one that I did just messing around. Put a links on there, and then just an arrow with camping, to follow the way. And then an eagle's head. And then that I also made the frame for. So it's stuff like this. I've made a bunch of these, and I've gifted them away to other folks that have YouTube channels and such. I know I made one for Jaime. I made one for Broseph Russell. He's got a YouTube channel. Sent that off to him. And then when I was just really starting to get into drawing, I bought these rounds at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're like 10 or 12 inches plywood. And then I did a little Native American art on there. So I find the art, and then I do my own drawings. This isn't my own drawing, but I found this. It was really cool. I transferred it, and then I burned it onto the wood. But it's just fun, relaxing activities that you can do. I also did the stock on my Benjamin Discovery air gun, and I have a video on the channel. You guys can go check that out. I basically stripped it down, took all the finish off it, redid it, stained it, and I think it came out really nice. I kind of did like a little cowboy theme on there. And here's a little totem that I did, and I made all the frames for all these as well. Deep South, Merry Christmas, bro. Appreciate you. And a lot of folks are asking, how maybe I'll do a video on how to get into wood burning. And then I haven't stained this one yet. Pardon the mess here in the office. It's the nerve center here of the show. But this is something that I've been working on. I've probably got about, 15 hours into this project. So I bought I think it's like a shelving material. I found it at Lowe's. And then I'm going to stain this and then polyurethane it. I'm going to stain it a lighter color. And then this is going to be a display table for doing videos. Because a lot of folks were saying that on my other display table that I use in my little backyard studio, it's kind of like the same color as the cabinetry here. So when I have product that I put on display, a lot of folks are having a hard time to see the detail in that. So what I'm going to do is do not like a whitewash, but almost like a weathered barn stain type look on that tabletop to give a little contrast, lighten it up a little bit so you can see the detail more when I'm showcasing knives and air guns and backpacking gear and all that good stuff. So that's a little bit of what I do. If you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, I'll be more than glad to answer them. A lot of stuff too. That I do, I draw a lot, and a lot of people go, man, I wish I could draw, and I wish I could learn how to do this or that. And I bought this book. I wish I had it in front of me right now, but I don't. It's called Learning to Draw on the Right Side of Your Brain. And it was probably the best material that I had found to date as far as instruction about learning how to draw. And you start seeing things a little bit differently the way that the lady explains it in the book. You do a series of real easy progression in drawing exercises. And by the time you're done, you're going to be amazed about how differently and more detailed you can draw. You start looking at negative spaces and shading and things like that. Deep South. My wife is an artist. I always envious of people who had that skill. I mean, you can have it too. I mean, check out that book. And she also has a DVD. It's called Learning to Draw on the Right Side of Your Brain. I'm telling you, it's gonna make a difference uh, in your art, in your drawing, and what you do and how you see things. And it's gonna teach you a little bit more about proportions and things like that. And a lot of people say, "Well, man, um, the I don't have time to practice and this and that." I bring a sketchbook, it's in the truck. And while I'm eating lunch out in the truck, I'll take 20 minutes after I'm done eating and I'll sketch something that I'm seeing, a tree or a fire hydrant or a tractor trailer or whatever, just to kind of keep the skills a little bit sharp and keep your eye looking for those negative spaces. Let's see, Black Dog Bushcraft. Can you tell me about the rack that you have your bows hanging from? Yes, I can. I purchased that at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago, and I should have bought two of them because, as you can see, they fill up pretty quick. I got another rack over here where I got Dad's bow and I got a Colt Firearms bow. I still need to do a review on that. That's a cool story on that, how Colt got in to making bows. But that was purchased at Hobby Lobby. And like I said, I should have bought two of them. When I see it, I'm like, no, one will do okay, but as you can see, and the bows that I have hanging off there, here, let me see real quick. I have in the back, in near the corner, that one right there. That is the Shrew Classic Hunter, awesome bow, designed by Ron LeClaire, the godfather of compact longbows, and it's made by Henry Bodnick over in Germany. And I consider him like the modern day Fred Bear. I mean, if you don't know about him, check out Henry Bodnick. Awesome guy, great advocate for traditional archery. Second one is here. Let me go. I got to do it in reverse. That is it's a bear longbow. It's the Montana, and then the other one is one from Three Rivers Archery, Old Mountain Mesa. That's a hybrid longbow. And then the other one is the Sage Discovery. That's an ILF, and that's a recurve. And I did a short video on that, and then I did a video on ILF bows. But I need to go back and do a dedicated review on that bow because it is really awesome. It's kind of like the bow that competes against the Hoyt Centauri, and a lot of people out there are, if you're a Hoyt Centauri owner, I don't want to say you're a bow snob, but a lot of those people are bow snobs. And this bow here kicks that bow's ass 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. So it is pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. My dad did all the wood burning like that. It was awesome. He hasn't in 15 years, passed away 5 years ago. Thanks for the memories. That's how I learned. My dad was doing it in the early 70s. I remember that he had an old shotgun, and I think it was like an old Remington 410. And he had put the silhouette of a white-tailed deer on one side, and then on the other side, he put ducks or a pheasant or something. And it was really cool, and it always captivated my interest. And then I started messing around with them, and the wood burning pens and stuff have come a long way since the old walnut hollow pens that kind of look a little bit like the soldering irons. The new ones now look almost like an actual pen, and there's all sorts of different nibs, the different profiles that you can use for shading, for lining, for doing things. It's just amazing now what you can do. And what's awesome about it is after a crazy day, you come up, you do a little bit of that, you lose a sense of time, and you just relax, and time slows down just a little bit. And you know what? You start out You might make stuff that goes right in the wood stove. Who cares? You're out there, you're learning, you're having fun. Let's see. Never a bow guy, but I love me some slingshot. I am into it so hard. I buy sheets of rubber and cut my own bands. That's cool. Um, I gave away my Chief AJ sling bow a while back. I mean, I really like that, but a man can only have so much stuff. I mean, there's only so much time. Oh, I'm also into doing power carving. I made this Odin. So I'm into so much stuff. As you guys can tell, I like creating things. And maybe that's why I like doing videos and things like that, because it's the creative process of planning something out, envisioning it, and bring that vision to life. And this one, uh, I had seen a drawing and then I sketched out something on my own. And then I have a micro high speed wood carving machine, and I just started going to work on this. This is a piece of birch firewood that I bought at Home Depot. It was crazy. And then this was an attempt at doing a spoon. So, you know, you're learning. This was done in 2020. Something to do in the backyard. You know, you take your time. And I cut it out on the bandsaw, and then I just started profiling it. And then I drew all that. I was inspired off something I saw on Pinterest, and was just playing around with the micro carver. But it's stuff that I like to do. And then that brings me to stuff like this. So I've been buying these knives. This is like the Old Bear, and this is one that's like a Opinel. But what I like about it is it's got a really cool unfinished walnut handle. And I just did a video on the Joker, and that one is a Babinga handle. Here, let me lock them so I don't cut myself on a live show. But Opinel style, nice Opinel price. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. This was like $11, I think, something like that. And I think this one was like 13 or 14. I bought this one at one of the last freaking knife shops in San Diego. It's up in Julian, California. And I went up there talking to the guy. I like talking to the old timers in these shops about knives, about steel. Even though I'm a reviewer, I'm still a student. I'm still trying to learn. There's so much to learn about all this stuff. And then here is, I did a video of the Old Bear and the Opinel, and I did a head-to-head shootout on that. That was a fun video to do. So I like my Opinels, and here's a smaller one that I bought. I was going to do a shootout against these two, but I figured, you know what? I'll do their own dedicated videos because they're both really cool, and I want to give them their own place. But like I just like simplistic, just easy peasy designs. So I was getting back to doing the wood burning. So this one has just a nice flat surface. I thought I would do some sort of, I don't know, outdoory style wood burn on this, maybe some trees or some scrolling or something. And then with this, I might actually put a bear on there, kind of to match the bear there. Maybe put a grizzly with some sort of mountains and scenery. But, you know, we'll see. Sometimes you got to wait till you're inspired, the project. You can't rush it, because sometimes when you rush them, it just, for some reason, stuff just doesn't come out right. But it's just stuff that I do. This is, people go, man, do you even have time to sleep? Well, actually, I probably only sleep probably about 5 hours a day. Usually I get up about 5 in the morning, And then I'm usually going to bed about 11:30-ish. So about 5 hours a day. But the mind's always thinking. I'm always writing stuff down and trying to figure out ideas on things. And, it's good to have that, to keep you busy, keeps you out of trouble too. So, and I need all the help I can get on that. Nice work on the wood carving. Yeah. I just like having fun, and I like learning new things. So let's take a hard left. I do a lot of reading, and lately I've been reading the David Paulides books. Now, if you guys follow along on David Paulides, he does the Missing 411 documentaries, and he's got a new one coming out called Missing 411 UFO series, and that one's coming out, I think, this week. I'm going to take a drink real quick. Cheers. So, a lot of people don't realize that David was commissioned to do Bigfoot research. Now, if you're not familiar with David Paulides is a retired police detective, and he was commissioned by some folks to deep dive into the Bigfoot genre. Well, what David does is he approaches it a little bit differently. He's not out there banging on trees and doing the hooting and doing all that crazy stuff. He's doing it like it's a crime scene investigation. He's going in there, he's looking for facts. He's looking for witnesses. What he's doing is he's also getting signed affidavits that are notarized. And what does that mean? Well, they're a legal document. That statement is a legal document. That way, folks, because there's a lot of embellishing in the community where folks will go in, interview somebody, then come back and pretty much misrepresent and not be truthful to what that person's testimony was. Well, what Mr. Paulides does is with that affidavit is he gets the statement, they get a copy, he gets a copy. That way there's no sneaky peeky involved. That way you can stay true to what was actually said. And he also hires a former FBI forensic artist, and who happens to be Native American. So that was really cool. So his first book, I think it was called Hoopa Bigfoot or something like that. And then this is the second book that he wrote, and this one's Tribal Bigfoot. The first one, he spent about 2 years up in Northern California with the Hoopa Indian tribe researching Bigfoot, researching in that area, all the sightings and stuff. And let me tell you what, it's a great read. Well, Tribal Bigfoot also talks about that as well with some of the Sierra Nevada tribes and some of the artifacts, some of the petroglyphs, all that stuff. And it's quite compelling. I can't, for copyright reasons, I can't show any of the parts of the book. But if you're into this sort of stuff and you're kind of on the fence, yeah, this, that, this is a good read for you to deep dive into. It's very informative, and it's really going to make you think a little bit. And there's been a few times, like when Jaime and I have been out, when Dana and I have been camping, we see things in the woods that just seem a little bit odd. There's going to be anomalies, but tree breaks, sounds. Dana's got a sound that he had broadcasted on his channel, Mountain Sport Air Guns. Check him out. That he recorded at night that was like, oh my God, I had never heard it. It was like a low roar, and then you hear this shriek, this high shriek of like something just dying out in the wilderness, and it's just blood curdling. And then when him and I were camping out a couple months ago, we were walking around because we were testing out some night vision scopes, and I had a coyote caller, and I was playing that. I was trying to lure some coyotes in to get them on video for this video review, and they were just staying on the fringe. And um, we would hear the coyotes yip and howl, and they were all around us. And then we would hear this low, it was like, I don't know, it was borderline a bear, but it was something I had never heard of. And I've heard cougars before and bobcats and such, but that was a little bit unnerving walking around at night. One, we were kind of night blind because looking through the scope that's illuminated, it totally whites out your eyes. So, you're trying to keep your other eye closed. That way you can maintain a little bit of night vision. But with that scope, it just made it hard to see. But that was a fun camp out as well. Let's see. A man of little sleep, I can relate. I'm always trying to come up with new stuff. Yeah, I mean, our minds are just turning and burning. G-Man, have a good night. Merry Christmas, bro. But I thought I would keep it fun tonight. I know sometimes the lives, we talk mainly knives and air guns and such, and I just wanted you guys to see a little bit different side of me and what I do as a hobby and who I am. And hopefully, you never know, maybe it'll inspire you to deep dive and try a little bit of it too. They like that saying is, heaven's not beyond the clouds, it's just beyond the fear. And it's true. A lot of times folks are afraid to do something in it, and it holds them back from doing great stuff. And we're all in this together, folks. There's only one end for all of us, and it's that time that we spend in between. I want to live the fullest life that I can live. But if you guys have any questions, any comments, as we're rocking in Christmas and heading off to the new year, I don't know if I'm going to have time to post another video. I posted a video last night of the Dakota from 73 Forge. Steve Ghanem, friend of mine, he made me this custom bushcraft knife that I might have it in this drawer. Yes, that oh, let me grab the other one too. Yeah, we're gonna turn a little bit into knives. Can't help myself. I love knives. But Steve made me this knife, and just beautiful. So I did a video of this last night showcasing it, and he's mainly on. Are we losing? Okay, we're back. For some reason, I'm losing connections. But if you folks are still with me, Steve made me the very first Mount Laguna, and look at the polish on that. Just amazing. And this is all hand polished too. And just beautiful handles with the green liners. And Steve told me, he goes, man, I really want you to use this blade. And I was like, man, hey, you know me, I talk about safe queens, but let me tell you, this one is a safe queen. I'm not going to use this. This is the very first Mount Laguna ever made custom. It's just amazing. But just awesome. And then he has this buddy that owns Hollis Leatherworks, and he made this wet formed sheath for it. That's another one. Somebody's message is held for review. I don't know who that is. Yeah, we froze up a bit. Hey, we're live. No, I'm not going to use it. It's definitely not it's not going to be used. That'll be a family heirloom that is passed down. And then let me see what this one was. Oh, this one is pretty much a one of a kind. This is a Mount Laguna with a Scandi grind, a full Scandi. And in testing it, it didn't hold up. So we went with a saber grind and a convex edge on it. But I think I had one of this is a prototype model, but I had like one of three, and I gave one to my nephew. That's always on the channel with me, my nephew Jared. We do a lot of stuff together. And then here's one. I know that we were talking about we weren't going to do knives, but you know, hey, keep it between us. This is a cool one. It's going to be coming out here real soon. And let me get some of the specs on it here off my little show notes. So, company is called Exodus Tool and Knife, and this is the Adventure Craft. So, it's made by White River Knives. Just got it in the mail yesterday, so show and tell here, like in school. But I thought this was a nice touch. And you guys know, seeing that I do some of the woodworking stuff, made in the USA tag on there. Looks like they laser cut Exodus logo in there. That was really cool. And then just an awesome interference fit. And this is the Adventure Craft knife. And lately I've been on this kick about EDC fixed blade knives. But look at that. Just a nice little fixed blade EDC knife. Now, I wouldn't be using this hard use out there batoning and doing stuff, but making little tri-sticks, making little projects. I could see myself, if I was a thru hiker on the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail, I could carry this. Definitely put it on maybe a backpack shoulder strap. Boom, you can pull it out really quick. Use it for food prep. I mean, as a lightweight, minimalist backpacking knife, I think that this would really excel in that. I don't think, like, if you're doing through hikes on the Appalachian Trail or Pacific Crest Trail, that you're going to need some heavy, big survival blade. Now, what I would carry with me to complement that is a multi-tool. And you know what? I've been a Leatherman fanboy for a long time, but I'm really liking these Gerber pliers. And they're adjustable. I got a video on the channel on that. I'm really digging this dual force. And I had to use these the other day. My dog, my little Shiba Inu, chewed the plug on my fan. So I had to go to Home Depot and go get a replacement plug. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to test the wire cutters and the wire strippers out on this. See how it did. Because in the review, I cut some wire, but I wanted to cut electrical wire and see how well it would strip and such. And it actually did a really good job. And what I like about the pliers on this is that there's times with the Leatherman, with the needle nose pliers, that they're just not big enough. Maybe you have a bolt or a nut that you're trying to get off, or some sort of protrusion, a screw that's sticking out or whatever, and you can grab onto it a little bit. Well, maybe the way that the Leathermans are, you'd have to have it too wide. You can't get a grip on it. This, you just extend it and just like channel locks, boom, you're good to go. And then I really like, here, let me close it up. A little show and tell. I like that the driver is in line with the tool. And that way it's centered, so it doesn't just feel like it's just these oscillating, huge concentric circles going around. But we'll see how it holds up. It's new. I've been using it. I don't know. We'll do a follow-up 6 months, maybe next year. We'll see how it goes. But so far, for that little project, it's been working really good. Let's see if we have any comments. It's been dabbling in fixed blade EDCs. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going back to going back in time. I don't know. I guess the older I get, the more like traditionalist and some of the old ways, that I'm longing for stuff like my grandfather used to do in his time and things like that. That way, hopefully, uh, we can pass it on. And because in this digital age, everybody, well, phones here, but in the digital age now, everybody's got stuff on their phone. And if your phone takes a dump, well, now your library's gone. Now your photos are gone. Now your books are gone. Now all this stuff. So for me, it's good to have hard copies of all this stuff. Um, it's like I have the Foxfire uh, series. One of my old bosses gave me a few of the books of the old ways in the Appalachian Mountains and stuff like that. I mean, that's just knowledge that nowadays dads aren't teaching their kids. As these old timers are dying, I mean, it's going with them. And yeah, there's a little bit of stuff on YouTube, but you know how YouTube's throttling and shadow banning stuff. I mean, the reach that I had 5, 6 years ago was a lot greater than the reach I have now, and that's such a mind blow of how they're throttling stuff. But it's important that I always talk about take a kid out, teaching a kid, whether it's archery, whether it's hunting, whether it's knives, whether it's bushcraft. You could fill in the blank. Just something. Everybody's good at something. Teach them whatever you're good at and pass it on. You know, let's see. The older I get, more traditional is better for me too. Case canoe is fantastic EDC and or Swiss Army. You're exactly right. The only problem I have with case is this. I know if I start buying them, I'm gonna want to collect them all, and then yeah, we're gonna get down that rabbit hole where I'm gonna have a box full of case knives because they make a lot of really cool stuff. And if you guys are like me, you know, they're like potato chips. If you have one, then you want another one, then you want another one, and then your wife's going, "Hey, save a little bit to put some gas in the truck this weekend so we can go out." But you know, it's just crazy um, how down the rabbit hole you can go with some of this stuff. And as a gear reviewer, I mean, we're constantly looking at things. I'm constantly researching new stuff, and it's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. When you look at videos and how much work goes into stuff, just this little clipboard right here is just all no, they're all handwritten notes of videos that are coming up, and we try to do as much research. And there's going to be times where you might forget something, but we try to research as much stuff as we can. And I also try to look at a backstory on stuff. Who's the designer? What was going through their mind in the process of how they designed the item? how did the company start? How long's the company been in business? Where are they from? What do they do? That sort of thing. That way, we kind of give you guys a little bit extra in there. So hopefully, you learn something. I learned something doing the research, and it's a fun process. I have a lot of fun doing this. Let's see. Can you do vids on the Glock field knife, EDC truck, bug out bag, get home bag? Um, I'll have to look into the Glock field knife, uh, see if I can get one. If you look on the channel, I might have to do some updated ones, but I have a truck EDC one back when I had my Jeep Wrangler. Needed that. If you're a Jeep Wrangler owner, you know what I'm talking about. You need a truck EDC kit because if you have an older Wrangler, stuff's going to break down all the time. Now I have a Toyota 4Runner. I'm going to knock on wood. So far, it's been good. Um, I did a video on a bug out, like an urban bug out bag, and items that I left in my car. Maybe I need to do an update on that because at that time I was traveling a lot. I was driving about 120 miles a day to work and back. And I put together a bag that way if like say a major earthquake happened and like the Northridge earthquake, because not everything's going to be, this zombie apocalypse stuff. At least that was the mindset back then. Who knows now with all the crazy stuff going on, But back then, the odds of a major earthquake here in San Diego, SoCal, still probabilities high. And if you had an earthquake like the Northridge earthquake, there was overpasses that were gone and stuff like that that I would have had to ditch the vehicle. Well, I had a backpack, and that video is, gosh, probably 10 years or 11 years old now, but the information is still relevant about the items you put in it. Now, the only caveat I would say about that, if you're going to have a bag in your vehicle, especially with food items or first aid gear, you need to swap that out every couple months. And the reason being is that your vehicle gets a lot of extreme heat and a lot of extreme cold. So band-aids, any adhesive, tape, things like that, it just destroyed those in really short time. The food items, I would go with dehydrated, freeze-dried food. That's a little bit more shelf stable to be able to take the heat. But items like that, anything that had an adhesive in it, a lot of people don't think about items in their kit as far as a get home bag or a bug out is change of clothes, or a different pair of shoes, especially the ladies. A lot of ladies are driving around, they're wearing heeled shoes, 3-inch, 4-inch heels, a good pair of tennies. Car breaks down, you got to ditch the car. Hey, you put the New Balance on, you put the Asics on, and even if they're old shoes that they're garden shoes or whatever, put them in the backpack. It's something to get you home, because you're not going to make it wearing heels or, I like to wear cowboy boots. Well, guess what? You're not going to walk 20, 30 miles wearing cowboy boots. Um, keep a pair of tennis shoes, keep a pair of hiking shoes in your kit, then you're good to go. At least you have options. Something happens, a jacket, a hat, a pair of gloves, especially if you're in colder climates. Um, yes, we are 130 subs away from 50 G's. So you guys can help by spreading the word. It doesn't cost you anything. If you go out and tell 10 friends, I got 8, 9 people on the live right now. You tell 10 friends, hey, there's 80, 90 new subs, short order like that. We're trying to hit that number before New Year. That would be awesome. to do that. A lot of blood, sweat, tears, 15 years. You know, a lot of channels blow up real quick. We've been slow and steady, winning the race, and we're working to get better and better every day uh, for you guys. But getting back to the bug out bags, uh, the bags that I pick, I don't like to pick the tactical bags, the camo bags, the stuff where you're looking like you're an operator. And thanks, Deep South. I appreciate that. Um, you want to go gray, man. You want to fit in. If you look like you're just coming off SEAL Team 6, now you're a target. So you want to be able to blend in. Grab a hoodie, grab things that are going to blend into the environment to where you live. And it's going to be dependent on where you live. If you live someplace where everybody's wearing, the old duck camo or the old Walmart style camo, maybe put that in there. You're blended in. Whatever, only you know what is hip in your locale. The last thing you want to do is be the standout and be the target, because your mission is to get home to your loved ones. That's why I'm a big proponent. Get your ham radio license. The grid goes down. If the grid goes down, then you're not worried about having a ham radio license. But while we're still in the real world, what you do is you get your ham radio license. That way you get the knowledge, and that way you can teach. You're a force multiplier. So if you can teach a couple of friends and they buy radios, whether they're the Bufongs or whatever, you can get them cheap. Now you've just increased your network. Force multiplier. Intel is going to be the key. A lot of the repeaters down here in San Diego, they're solar. So if something happens where the grid goes down, earthquake, civil unrest, fill in the blank, those repeaters will still work. Now, there's times just this little upgraded duck antenna, I've talked all the way out from San Diego to the Salton Sea out in Borrego. Somebody was out near El Centro, and I was bouncing off the repeater in Otay, and then another repeater in Laguna, and that one amazed me. And then one day I talked to somebody in Bakersfield, so we were popping off a repeater. I mean, that's quite the distance right there. That's about a 4-hour drive. So, I mean, that right there is worth its weight in gold. And if you teach family members how to use it when the grid's down, then they can tune in to whatever local repeater. And now we have comms. Maybe the cell phones don't work, but the ham radios still work. So, like I said, you don't have to break the bank. Like I did. You can get the Bufongs and have a bunch of them, 2, 3. I think you can buy packs of 4 for $120. And then batteries, chargers, keep one in the truck, one downstairs, and in a cradle. It's good to go. Crappets the fan. The kids know to turn it on. And one thing, I didn't know that this was going to turn in like an emergency broadcast thing, but I like talking about preparedness. I teach it. I teach wilderness skills and such. Make up a notebook, a family notebook. One, a lot of people don't keep phone numbers anymore. Where do you keep them all? Keep them all on your phone. What happens if the phones get destroyed? What happens if you lose your phone? Now all of a sudden you've lost everybody's address, everybody's phone number. I don't know about you, but I don't remember a lot of people's phone numbers anymore. All I know is that I tell Siri to dial Mr. Smith or Bobby Ann Mason or whoever, and they do it. Well, if the grid goes down, you need to make a phone call on a regular landline. How are you going to call? Well, if you have a notebook with contact lists, leave in here at your house, put it in a drawer by your phone, your list of contacts. Things to do. First things to do, like if we have an earthquake, go out there, shut off the gas line. A lot of times, if folks just shut their gas line off at their house, it'd save their house from burning down after an earthquake. A lot of times, gas line gets ruptured. They don't shut the main off. Gas leaks. All of a sudden, you get a spark. Boom, house on fire. Fire department's got 100 other calls they got to go to. So guess what? Your house burns down. And somebody who had a house fire, I was out of my house 15 months due to a house fire. That weighs heavy on my heart. So do yourself a favor. Get fire extinguishers. Keep one near the kitchen. Keep one near your water heater. Keep one upstairs in your bedroom. Always check your smoke detectors. Make sure that your batteries are upgraded. Check the carbon monoxide indicators as well, especially this time of year. People are doing all sorts of stuff with their furnaces and with their fireplaces and such. And that's the deadly killer, right? It gets cold at night and they're using a space heater in the room. Boom, all of a sudden little Bobby's dead because they got carbon monoxide poisoning. But getting back to the notebook, so I have my contact list, phone numbers, who do we call? I've got my list of, if crap hits the fan, where do we all meet? We all need to be on the same page. Say comms are down. So we need to have what we used to call the plan of the day, or the standard operating procedures, what we used to call in the military. If stuff goes down, we crack this open, okay, boom, this is what we do. This is where we meet if we can't get a hold of everybody. Now they know that it might take a day, it might take 2 days, whatever. But this is the rally point where we're all going to meet. If you have close friends that don't have family, or if they got family they don't like and they're coming, now they became your family, well, guess what? You put them in here too, because we got to take care of one another. And like I said earlier, everybody's got an asset. Everybody's good at something. And part of being a leader is finding out what the people on your team are good at and exploiting that for the positive. It's easy to look at all the negative stuff. Oh, you don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that. But if you look at the positive stuff, okay, Bobby knows how to cook. Bobby knows how to do first aid. Sally knows how to do this or whatever. Then now people feel like they're part of the team and they're more apt to be better members in your group, come up with better ideas and such. So try to find the good in everybody on your team, because like I said, everybody's got that one special gift that they can do. Let's see. Deep South says he's in New Orleans. Gray Man is the key. Heck yeah, you know firsthand when the levees broke during the hurricane down there, Katrina, and I mean, that, talk about chaos. That was like the perfect storm for that. But we are coming up on an hour, and you know what? Time flies by fast when you're with friends. I consider you guys family members, whether you're on the live broadcast or whether you're checking it out. You guys been with me for all these years. You guys are family. And anybody who knows me personally, man, you don't have to be blood to be family. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate your support over the years. And this push to 50,000, it's not really about the numbers. It's about the relationships. It's about the friends that I've met along the way. It's about just the journey. And I am so blessed that I've been able to share this channel and videos with you folks for 15 years. It has been a blessing, and I'm still having fun. So we're not going to stop. I mean, I have a lot of really cool content that I want to do. The only thing that's holding me back right now that everybody deals with is time. And as soon as I can get the time, trust me, I have some really cool videos lined up. Crazy story. Then I'll let you guys go. So the cost of doing, hey Dana, how you doing, bud? Uh, Dana knows this story because I called him. I was all freaking pissed. So I'm out in the woods. I brought my drone with me. It was last week, and I was going to shoot a knife video and all this stuff. And first thing, I get out of the truck, and you would think doing this, 15 years, that you have your act together, right? And so I get out of the truck, I go to mount the camera, and I don't have any tripods. And I'm like, oh crap. So no tripods, which I probably could have still filmed the video, but it's not going to be at the level that you guys like to see on the channel. Um, then I was like, okay, so what I'll do is I'll fly my drone. I have a DJI Mavic Pro. It's an older model, but it still shoots 4K. It's still viable, and you can get pretty good video out of it. And what I do is I use it a lot of times for transition shots. If you guys see that I go from one theme to another on the video, a lot of times I'll either do it as like an establishing shot, a nice flyover, or up top, you're seeing just a really cool scenery of where we're at, where we're going, just stuff like that. So I'm flying along and I'm like, well, hey, I want to get a little more artistic with some of these drone shots, because I'm watching some of these high end guys and, you know, but they're wearing the VR goggles and, they can see firsthand a little bit different flying than what I'm doing. I'm trying to look on the iPhone using the controller and such. And I'm getting down near the trees and I'm trying to get just a really cool, like low flying over the trees and such. So I saw this really cool dead oak tree and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this pull away shot where I back up coming back through it. And I did that fine. And the sun kind of like shined out my screen for a hot minute. Excuse me. And let me get a drink real quick. So the sun flared out my screen real quick, so I couldn't tell where I was, where I was, and I should have just took my hands off the toggles and stopped the drone. But of course, no. You got to get that shot. And I backed into a tree, and the drone has like collision sensors forward, but not backwards. So I hit a tree and I heard it and it go, and then all of a sudden I hear it like it's hitting every limb falling through this tree. And it hits the ground with this just dead thud, like a pound and a half, 2 pound thud. Cause these batteries, I mean, they're probably close to a pound. So I'm like, oh my God. Right. So I walk up and I'm like, yeah, I won't do that again. Thanks, Dana. So I walk up to assess the damage and I see the landing gear. One of the stanchions on the landing gear was broken. So I'm like, okay, some Gorilla Glue. I can probably fix that, take it apart. So I take it over to the truck and I try running some diagnostics on it to see, well, long story short, the camera works, but the gimbal shot. So I'm like, wow, that was an expensive day right there. So the things that we do for love to get those shots for you guys, but stuff's going to happen. I didn't let it ruin my day. I grabbed my air gun and I did a woods walk. Got that video down below. Hunting pine cones out in the woods. Had a great time. It could have just been a ruined day, just kicking tires and such. I figured, you know what? I'm up here and we're going to have a good time. And I did. I mean, I was out there just popping pine cones off of rocks and things like that and just loving life. But we're now at 65 minutes. I think we're going to call it. Folks, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a blessed New Year. I hope you have some good quality time with your family, with your friends, and just go out and do something good today. Go out and just be the best version of yourself today. And with that, folks, I want to say thanks again for all your love and support over the years. I really appreciate you. I appreciate every view, every comment. Believe me, there's times when we're down because we're working day jobs just like you and doing this. And there's times where we're like, oh my God, but let me tell you, your compliments, your comments really do mean a lot in the comments section, and just sharing the videos because Google, YouTube, they're trying to shadow ban content like this. So with that, folks, take care, and we'll see you on another video after the new year. Take care, folks. Night.